Okay, here we are. Zebra Nation plays Football Manager 2016, Team Canada Edition. No, not Team Canada Edition, Toronto FC Edition. I always want to say Team Canada. Anyway, here we are with our first MLS game of the season versus New York FC, NYCFC. Before we get to that, though, we got a couple of interesting emails. First of all, we got season tickets. 20,850 season tickets. I think that's a record. We beat last year's by one. Seems like we've gone up one every season for the last 16 seasons. It's kind of weird. But let's see, what was the other email that I wanted to look at? Contract clause reminder. So we got Mamadou and Crow they can't appear in 15 games this season, or they get contract extensions. I don't want to give either one of these guys contract extensions, quite frankly. Mamadou, if he gets a contract extension, it's not the worst thing in the world. But Crow, we can't have him. He's too old. He's not good enough. We got a younger goaltender we're trying to get playing time. So these guys can only be in less than half of our games this season, so we got to manage that carefully. There was one more thing I was looking at. It was the where did it go? Anyway, it was our board resolutions for the month here. Well, let's look at our competitions. That might be an easier way to look at it. So they want us to win the MLS. That's no big deal, right? So they expected to win the MLS Cup, I suppose that means. They want us to finish around the top of the league in the Supporters' Shield. So near the top of the Supporters' Shield. They want us to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That's going to be tough, considering Cruz Azul is in there. New York is in there. Some tough teams in there. And then they expect us to reach the final of the Canadian Championship. That's doable. And then they don't care about the Trillium Cup. So that's our mission for the season. Finish in the top half. That means get in the playoffs. And once we get in the playoffs, we're supposed to win the cup. Semifinals of the Champions League. That's going to be tough. But the board is behind us, so we've got good job security. Been here 16 seasons. I don't see us getting fired, even with we've had drastic seasons before that were just awful, and we never got fired before. We've come close, but never been fired, so we're looking good, I think. All right, let's get this roster in order here. We've got to get down to our 7 subs. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of change in here. Let's move De La Roca up here. Clay. Nave goes in the starting lineup. Maggio. We don't have backup goaltender. I mean, I have a backup goaltender, but I never put him in my reserves just because it's in 16 seasons I've had one goalkeeper get injured, and so I don't really care. If somebody gets injured, that's his fault. Let's start Scott, because Scott just signed a new contract. Well, he signed a pre-contract for next season, so he's going to be our starter next season. So we'll start getting used to that. But we still need Sweeney in the reserve spot. We need Feely. We're going to start Feely for Vasquez. No, not Feely. What am I doing here? Fisher. Where's Fisher? There he is. Fisher for Feely. There we go. We need, we're going to have Feely up here as our reserve midfielder. Vasquez for Marples. And then the big question mark for reserve striker. We got a lot of reserve strikers to talk about here. Obviously, Kim is going to be a starter. And we'll start Caseta because we don't want to start Mamadou. So I guess that means we'll have Forrester in reserve. Get rid of these guys. Remove. Should have took care of this before I started recording, but hey, now we're stuck. Now we're stuck with it. Nothing we can do but soldier on. Got the end of the gold medal match going on in the background, so I might be a little distracted. Alright, we need Trejo to start. Trejo's starting to drop a little bit. He used to be a 4-star guy. 32 years old. So Gallegos just signed a pre-contract as well. So we're going to start seeing more of him in the starting lineup this season. But we'll start the season out with Trejo as our guy. Jordan, you are not a starter at defender. Eduardo's the man. Chavez is lacking match experience or match readiness, sharpness, whateverness. But he's our designated starter. Clay is going to come in reserve, our young Brazilian. Let's see, Nave Scott Maras, you are not a starter. You are a youngster. So we're going to find Pacheco. Where's Pacheco? There he is. Bring him in. Gonna make him box to box. Or a roaming playmaker. Box to box. That helps out our defense a little bit. Alright, Fisher, he's still not incredibly skilled as an advanced midfielder. He's just, I don't know why, but it takes everybody so long. Even though he's training as an advanced midfielder for like 2 or 3 seasons now. And he plays there all the time. He just is not adapting well. But that's fine. That's fine. Alright, this is our lineup. This is what we're going with. Instructions. We're only accomplished over here. So what do we got? See if we can tweak marking or width. I don't think either one of those are going to help. Let's see. Wide width. Does that help? Nope. That got worse. Balance. Nope, that's the same. So we'll go back to fairly wide. Then what was the other one? Oh, this behind the scenes stuff you don't need to see. Marking. That's pretty good. Alright, so we're just not accomplished yet, or we're not fluid yet. It's early in the season. Crow and Chavez are lacking. Okay. So we're not going to start our youngster. We're going to start Crow. He's basically going to play like 1 out of every 4 games, I think. But we want to start him here just to try to get off on the right foot. We don't want to have a replay of what happened against Red Bull. Ooh, we're in penalty kick mode here on a television. So again, I might be a little distracted, but I'll try to soldier on. Might be the only person on YouTube who watches TV while I do this, but hey, I am multi-talented. There's already a significant talking point about the absence of Mamadou. Why did he not start today? Because of his contract. I'm privileged to have a squad with fantastic depth. And his contract. Alright, let's apply some advice here. Good solid advice from our assistant coaches. But not enough. Not enough. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. Gotta do this. Closing down shop. There we go. Let's go. Favorites, so we should encourage them to push on. Let's be passionate. Come on, guys. Show me what you can do. Yeah. All right. We are rolling. See, there's a packed house. That's what we need. That's home field advantage right there. BMO Stadium rocking. That was not good. Might need to slow down tempo a little bit against NYC. They looked like they were back in defense. We'll see if we don't get any action here in the first 20 minutes or so. We'll switch up our tactics. Okay, goal kick. There we go, Chavez. So we should have a fairly reliable defense this season. We got 3 quality players back there, plus a couple of promising youngsters. So I think we should be good. Fisher, you're not forward enough, buddy. You got to get up there a little bit. Nave, nice move. Cross it, cross it, cross it, cross it. Own goal. No, Caseta got ahead on that. Nice. This is why we don't need Mamadou. I mean, Mamadou is excellent and all that, but he cost $8 million, and we got a youngster who can do that. So, just trying to be a little frugal. Again, if you saw my first intro video for season 16, you'll know that that money is off the books money, but still, $8 million is $8 million, and it would free up a roster spot for us. Ouch. Designated player spot. We only get 3 of those. We've got 2 of them right now being used up by guys who are over 30. I tend to get rid of guys who are over 30. Well, not, Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't lie. Once a guy gets to 31, I start looking to replace him. Nice shot, McCarthy. I think I was trying to get rid of you this season, but I think I'll keep you around. He's a guy, he's making a little bit. He's making $400,000, and I got guys who can play his position and play it well, but perhaps not this well. That was a nice strike from the midfield position. He hasn't done much of that his career, quite frankly. He's been more of a defensive setup kind of player. I mean, he hasn't really found his role, quite frankly. But I think now he's found it. He's made himself into a deep line playmaker. I have nothing to do with that. I tried to make him just a central midfielder. But he made himself into a deep line playmaker. So there he is making a play. Fisher up to Pacheco. It's such a solid midfield I've got. I don't know why I thought about breaking them up. Trejo, get there, Kim. Boom. This is what we're capable of. We've got firepower all over the field. All over the field. It's something we should be able to do on a game in, game out basis. Kim is he's such a garbage man. He just waits around the goal and pounces whenever there's a rebound. He's like Moses Malone out there. All right, we got penalty kicks on the TV here. And it's all tied up. They could go forever, quite frankly. Some of these penalty kicks, and they get down to like the 9th and 10th guy. Do they start over? Like once they get past 10 guys, I think they just start back at the top. It's cutting into my UFC time. There's a UFC event on tonight as well. The prelims have already started, but I think gold medal game is a little bit more than the prelims in terms of sports hierarchy. All right, here we go. Pep talk. It's excellent pep talk. Let's be passionate about that. Very pleased. Keep it up. Let's look at these rankings here. 7'9". The goaltender only 6'9". Chavez is he's lacking match sharpness, so our guys that are lacking match sharpness are the ones with the worst rating. Let's go into the first half. I don't think we need to make any adjustments just yet. Well, we could pull our fullbacks back. We'll see. Because see, we like it when they do things like that. When they're in attack mode, they get aggressive. Oh, Caseta, what are you doing? Why'd you intercept that from Trejo? Nice pass. Oh, no good. There we go. Get it out to Trejo. We need Caseta. There we go. Offsides. We need him receiving balls in position to score, not mucking about. Leave the wings for Trejo. That's what he's there for. Although maybe that shows me I could pull him back if our other guys are going to start filling that role for him. Because most of my teams that have been very good have had fullbacks that are playmakers. Nice pass. Fisher. Wow. We are just hitting on all cylinders today. I don't know if New York is not good or if they're just playing poorly here. But the thing about MLS, it's different than other leagues, is there's no bottom feeder teams. Because there's only so many teams. It's only 20 teams, I think. 24, 20, I don't know. There's not a lot of teams. There's no relegation. There's no promotion, so you don't get any sort of nice stop. You don't get any scrub teams making their first year in the league where you can just pounce on them and destroy them because you've got a $100 million payroll and they've got a $10 million payroll. So every team, that's what the salary cap does. The salary cap keeps everybody within reason, between, like if I used all of my budget, I'd have a $6 million team, which is about twice as much as the salary cap. So it's not a huge difference in terms of what you can buy players for, and you only get 3 of the off-budget players, so the foreign players, but so every team is fairly even. So when you have games like this, it's usually because you find the right system to beat them, or they just have an off day, or they play some of their reserves or something. Maybe they didn't play a very robust preseason schedule, so they're just a little off base. Oh, Caseta, what are you doing, buddy? You're just kind of lollygagging downfield. He was not making a beeline for the goal, that's for sure. All right, so the 4-0 lead, we're going to do a little substitutions here. We're going to get our yellow card out. We're going to move our fullbacks back to support roles. Yeah, support roles is fine. Anybody else we want to get out or get in? No. We'll save the rest for later. So that's the thing, our right fullbacks are fairly equivalent. Both of them 3.5 stars. Trejo is a little bit more talented. He's a little bit more experienced, a little bit older. But Gallegos is right there with him. Speak of the devil, here's Gallegos with a terrible throw-in. That's the one place Trejo beats him, is in the throw-in category. I don't have a lot of guys who are good at throw-ins this season. So that could be a weak spot in our team. Set plays, special teams, as it were, has never been my strength. There's a little bit of good defense there. Eduardo cleaning things up on the back end like he does. Be nice if we could get this pass. Ooh, get out of there. Alright, 4-1. We're giving up goals here. That's no good. Let's be more disciplined. Let's see this replay. We just couldn't clear the ball out. They had too much time to set up their offense, and then Freeman just, that was a nice run. Nice run, poor marking. Good enough. Alright, it would take a miracle for them to come back. See, McCarthy's getting tired. He's going to be the first to reach our 60% or, below 70% threshold. So we'll probably sub him out soon. Scott's played well. This is his first start. Haven't seen him make any mistakes. He's not playing the anchor position, so he's not quite as dependable as Sweeney. What's going on the outside there? Nave is not playing defense there. All right, speaking of McCarthy, sub him out. Bring in Feely. Put him at central midfielder. And we'll just, play him in support. No need for him to be attacking at this point in the game, even though he does like to attack. And I guess we'll get Nave out of there. Their final substitution. Or should we save it in case there's an injury? I guess we'll save it for an injury timeout. So next week is interesting. We're going to have back-to-back games. I think we got a Sunday, Tuesday schedule. So we're going to have to pay a lot of substitutes on that Tuesday game. Maybe we'll save the substitutes for the home game. See if either one of those is a home game. Play the substitutes there. They get a little boost from the crowd maybe. Watching the celebrations now on the old Olympics. Finally over. They finished their endless penalty kicks. Good for them. Nice save. Nice save, Crow. It's his last season here, but he's still playing hard. I tried to get rid of him earlier in the season, like in the off season, but the whole team mutinied against me when I tried to do that. Like as soon as I started trying to shop him around, he got upset, and then the whole team supported him. So I basically had to quell that. I had to just stop trying to shop him around. So we're stuck with him till the end of the season. Nothing we can do about it. All right, let's. We will. No, we won't. We'll just let it roll. We'll let it ride. Oh, there's a good stop. Fisher, come on, buddy. Yeah, they're pressing up high on us. Let's bring our team down a little bit. I forgot to do that when we go in defensive mode. To stop pressing up high. If he'd have passed that, he'd have had a goal. Let's see if we can bring some of those defenders down. Oh, I know the other thing we can do, the other substitution we can make without a substitution, is turn Kim into a defensive forward. That's something he can play. So now we'll put Casada in support. So there we go. We'll have our strikers coming back to help us as well. Going full defensive mode. All right. Cover David Davies. Old double D. So let's see. Not much else to discuss here. We're going to try to. Oh, we did get in the Champions League again. So this must be from winning 2 seasons ago when we won the Canadian Championship, because we lost the Canadian Championship last season. So I'm not sure why we're in the Champions League again this season. So it must be from 2 seasons ago. Ooh, get out of there. Good marking. See, Davies was standing there, but Eduardo had him marked. It's good. We got a minute left of stoppage time. So that'll be fun. We'll get to see the Champions League again this year. As you saw, we're supposed to make the quarterfinals. So that's going to be very difficult, I think. But we already went over that. I forgot about that. Sometimes I just start talking. That's what you got to do when you get on the microphone. You just got to start talking. Sometimes you repeat yourself. Sometimes you blabber like an idiot. Sometimes you do both simultaneously. All right, there we go. Full time, 4-1. Excellent way to start the season. Nave, why are you blue? Why are you blue? You're not on loan. That's the loan color. What is this? Oh, player of the match. Okay. I've never noticed that before. I've never noticed. I am just not observant, I think. So here we go. Passionately. Very pleased with the result and your performance. Everybody's happy with that. Let's look at the post-match analysis. What do we got here? Caseta with the goal, 7.7 rating. 5 fouls against this guy, but, that's what we do. We foul. Player of the match, Nave. 8 tackles, 7 interceptions, 4 headers, 9.0 rating, 2 assists. That's pretty good. So there we are, top of the standings there. 1 win, no defeats. All right, see you in about 8 games or so. All right, see you.